Hey there, it's Jason Eichmiller, reverse mortgage expert, own and run this channel, Reverse Mortgage Reality. And this is the weekly update on reverse mortgage rates and, more importantly, how much money you can get with a reverse mortgage for the week of October 26th. And just going to spill the beans real quick. I intended to record this yesterday. This is actually, today is October 27th. The rates have stayed basically the same. They've actually dropped just a tiny bit. So, yeah, kid stuff got in the way yesterday, and I had a closing in the afternoon, which is all very, very, very good stuff. But I'm one day late on recording this and getting it out to you, so my apologies. So what we are going to do is we're going to go over how the reverse mortgage market looks this week, as opposed to last week and the week before. So real quick, I'm just going to put my contact info. I'll share like this. And if you see me looking over this way, it's just because I have two screens and my controls are on that screen. So I just want to control it and make sure that I don't screw it up too terribly bad. So right here, you see our website, reversequotes.com. If you watch this and you want more information on how a reverse mortgage can work specifically for you, you can just visit this website. It's reversequotes.com. You can call me on this 888 number that's right up here. Email is jason@keyhomelending.com. And that information is going to be below as well. Also, in addition, if you want to see this stuff, every single week we come out and I share where the reverse mortgage rates are and what that means to the money that you can possibly get. If you want to see that every single week, and I also come out with other educational classes and lessons about reverses, because there's so much mystery and there's so many misconceptions about them. If you want to see that stuff, go ahead and hit subscribe. It should be below somewhere, and then you'll get updated when I come out with new educational stuff. For this video also, if you have any suggestions, if there's anything that you want me to include for next week, then you can go ahead and type it in below or reach out to me, and I'll do my best to go ahead and use it. So jumping right down in here real quick, we've got a lot to cover, and we don't want to spend too much time covering it. Reverse mortgages are based on, the rates are based basically off of the 1-year Treasury rate. And you might be thinking in your head, wait a minute, I heard that reverse mortgages, that when you qualify, your age and the home value tells us how much money we can give you. And you're right to an extent. But the true calculation, and nobody ever goes over this is why I'm sharing it with you, the true calculation is age, home value, and interest rate. And in a nutshell, what you're going to see, and you've been seeing it if you've watched any of these recent videos or if you've interacted with myself or anybody else looking for reverse mortgage information. You know this already. The older you are, the more you qualify for. The younger you are, the less you qualify for. That's easy. You also know the older you are, the more your house is worth, the more you qualify for. The less your house is worth, the less you qualify for. But let's look at the rates. This is something that it makes sense when you hear it, but it might be a little counterintuitive. When the interest rates go up, you qualify for less. And when the interest rates go down, you qualify for more. So when you, if you spoke with me, you gave me your information, those are the three things I'm plugging into the computer: your age, your home value, and the interest rates right now. And the computer will spit out and say, all right, Jason, this is what they can get. So let's look here at these charts real quick. And we're going to compare last week, this week, and a time in the past, March 4th. Why I use March 4th? It's kind of an arbitrary date, but it's basically when the rates started to climb. Well, it was really low, then it plateaued, then it started climbing again. So anyway, over the past few weeks, and then forever and ever, amen, I'm going to compare March 4th. So you can see right here that on March 4th, the 1-year Treasury rate was 1.05%. Now, as of today, remember I did this yesterday. Yesterday it was 4.57. As of today, it's 4.54%. And remember what I just told you. As interest rates go up, do you qualify for more or do you qualify for less? You qualify for less as rates go up. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to attempt to do a screen share with you where we're going to go over basically what this means for cash at age 55, 62, 72, 82, and 92. And at different home values, we're going to have 400, 400,000, 700,000, a million, and 2 million. So you can kind of take a look. This is how old I am. This is approximately how much my house is worth, I think. This is approximately how much that I can get from a reverse mortgage. Not last year, not last month, not last week, but today. So if you're ready for it, I'm ready for it. Now I got to do my my screen share thing here. I'm going to take my face off of here. And let's do a slideshow. All right. And we're going to do settings. Boom. Okay. Cool. So here we go. You saw this on the thumbnail. Reverse mortgage calculator. Can you get more than last week or can you get less than last week? And that is for the week of October 26th. And I can just hide this little guy right there. Okay. So how has reverse mortgage money changed over time? And what we're going to use is I could use any home value, any age amount, but let's go with a 72-year-old with a $400,000 home value. You can see what we just went over, that 1-year Treasury rate. It went from 1.05% in March 4th to October 19th, 4.50 to October 26th, 4.57%. So you see it's grown drastically. So on the right column here, it's kind of highlighted here, you see HECM, which is the government reverse mortgage, and proprietary, which is the non-government reverse mortgage, although they have the same non-recourse protection. By the way, if you want a deep dive into that, I've got a couple videos on that on the channel. If you can't find them, shoot me an email or comment below and I'll shoot it over to you. But we do go in the differences between the HECM and the proprietary. All right, so on March 4th, on a $400,000 house, the HECM was giving you about $177,000 to $178,000. The proprietary, normally the proprietary gives more up until mid-80s. The proprietary was giving about $197,000. Fast forward to last week, October 19th, 4.5% rates. The HECM, $139,000. So you can see that drop from $177,000 to $139,000, and the proprietary, $162,600. Then look from last week to this week. So we see 4.5 went to 4.57. Again, this is of yesterday. The HECM, $133,000. So we lost $6,000 in a week. The proprietary lost, almost $10,000 in just 1 week. And I should say with a proprietary, there's a bunch of proprietary lenders. What I'm doing is I'm just looking on the market for the one that's going to give you the most amount of money. So there's a few, and I'm not going to break that down too much because that's what I do kind of as a broker, as I shop the proprietaries around for you. All right, so now let's go to 55-year-olds. What is a 55-year-old going to get out of a reverse mortgage today versus last week? Boom. All right, calculator for age 55. How much money can you get? So we have 4 values. We have a home value of 400, home value of 700, home value of million, home value of 2 million. And you can see right here, the HECM is it says NA, not applicable. That's because with a proprietary, you can do this at age 55. With a HECM, you got to wait till 62. So no HECMs. But the proprietaries, let's take a look. A 55-year-old last week, and this week it's about the same, 127. All right? So you can get 127 if your house is worth 400. If your house is worth 700, now we got a little bit of a drop. We have a $2,000 drop down to 223. If your house is worth $1 million, then the drop isn't actually that bad. It's just 318,600, so it's about the same. You lose $2,000. I don't like losing money, but it's not as drastic as some of the stuff we'll see. But look at the $2 million home value here. Here, you're going from $643,000 to $637,000, which is a $6,000 difference. So again, this is when you go from a 4.5 to a 4.57, little teeny bump in the rate. See what happens. So that's 55. 62. I love that. I love these faces on these cartoons. These ladies hey, they're getting out there. They're working out. Do I look my age? Well, that depends. What age are you using this year? 30 or 70, right? So age 62. Let's see here. Now the HECM comes into play because, again, to get a HECM, you just have to be 62. So let's take a look here. $400,000 house. we're losing about almost $5,000. So 114, almost 114 to 109. The proprietary, you're losing almost $8,000, 142 to 135. If your house value goes up to 700, well, now we go from 2037 to 196.6. Proprietaries go from 251.6 to 237.9. That's a little bit drastic. We're over $10,000 in loss right now. Again, rates just go up 0.07%. Home value of $1 million. We're looking at about $10,000 less with the HECM and the proprietary. The proprietary actually gets a little bit better. And what happened is we use different lenders here. Different lenders have different hotspots. So you can kind of see that the proprietary isn't as bad at $1 million as it is at 700. But the proprietary still wins the day. And by the way, if you look at this where it's red, that just means that the proprietary win on cash you can get, or does the HECM win on cash you can get? So you can see it's 347.7. And a $2 million home, well, it's the same thing with the HECM. So HECMs top out on value, or on the maximum home value they let you have, at $970,800. So you'll always see the HECM being the same between the $1 million and the $2 million. But the proprietary, that's giving you $697,000. So that's about $16,000 or so in loss. Again, just in 1 week. All right, so let's go on to 72. Sometimes I feel like this with my computer. Grandpa's computer repair. I'll smash it for you. You only have to pay me 50 cents. All right, 72. The HECM at 400, it's giving you $6,000 less. It's giving you 133. The proprietary is giving you 153. The proprietary still wins the day. Home value of 700. By the way, I'm going pretty quick through this. If you want to write it down, just hit pause. I'll be here when you come back. Home value 700. So losing about a little under 10. Proprietary, now we're at $16,000 as a loss. 700 isn't very good for the proprietary. It still wins the day, but you can kind of see home value of $1 million. I'm at about $15,000 of a loss versus 16, and the house value went up $300,000. The HECM's losing about through the 13,000 or so. 2 million, the HECM is the same, again, because of what I told you before. And the proprietary, we are at 791 versus 815. So the proprietary, as the home values go up, the proprietary gets a little bit stronger based on at least last week. Now we're done 72. We're halfway through. Let's see 82. Do I have a cartoon? Of course I do. This reminds me of the Publix. So we go to the Publix, the local grocery store, and anytime I want to get like one of those fancy sandwiches, or trying to get meat or cheese, the line is so darn long. So there you go. The guy's trying to, he's impressive. He's trying to pick up his lady friend in the grocery line, and she says, "Get your own. I'm next." I like it. You might think it's corny, but I dig this sort of stuff. All right, age 82 calculator. The HECM on a $400,000 house, it's going to give 172, so it's down about a little under 7,000 from last week. The proprietary is very, very close. It's within $4,000, 194. At $700,000, the HECM is now down almost $12,000, which kind of makes sense in the whole scheme of things. The proprietary is down almost $8,000 though. At $1 million, HECM is down 16,000 to 430. Proprietary is down 12. So that's kind of following. So it's at 486.6. And at $2 million, we know the HECM stays the same because the maximum home value is what? 970,800 to be specific. And the proprietary gets you at 973. So the proprietary on $2 million for an 82-year-old, the proprietary actually gives more money this week than last week. And just to stop real quick, that's why, as much as looking at these charts is fun, maybe it's fun, it's educational, you still want to compare. So when you're looking at this, you want to call, whether it's myself or anybody else, hopefully it's me, I'd be glad to help you, but you want to have a breakdown of, hey, can I do a proprietary? Am I in a state where I can do it? What are my options, and what's the difference in money that I can get between a proprietary and between the HECM? Never assume I've done over 460 of these, and I don't assume. I let the computer tell me what we can do. All right, hopefully that makes sense. And now I'm off my soapbox. Uh-oh. So, all right, here we go. Age 92. Grandpa is, he's got his present, he's got his cake. He is a happy, happy guy. You'll see, and you've noticed before if you've been with me for the past couple of weeks, 92, once you're in your 80s, things kind of change with this program. So at age 92, we are at, let's take a look. The HECM, it's still giving a little bit less. The proprietary at age 400, or at value 400, the HECM's 7,000 or so less. The proprietary is actually giving a little bit more than last week. I love that. Home value 700, proprietary is winning. Well, the HECM's winning actually, but the proprietary is giving more money than last week. The HECM's giving less money than last week. Home value $1 million. Then we've got the HECM at 573. We've got the proprietary at 543. The proprietary is still up on last week, and 2 million. The proprietary is up on last week too, and the HECM's at 573. But look at what happened when we take a look at bouncing the proprietary versus the HECM. Previous ages, so look, 82, the proprietary won. It always win at 2 million. 72, the proprietary wins. But once we get to 92, the HECM wins. Once you're in your mid 80s, the maximum cash that you can get from the HECM to the proprietary, it shifts. It actually goes back from the proprietary being kind of the best deal to the HECM being the best deal for you. So, all right, now we're going to end this slideshow here, and we're going to go back here. I'm just gonna chat with you for a minute or two. Let's see, put my face up here. There we go. All right, so now you've seen kind of the differences in ages and the differences in home values, and you can see that with a couple of very rare exceptions, we've gone down a little bit over the past week in money that you can get. And we all know that with 0 exceptions, we've gone down quite significantly from March 4th, which again is basically when the rates started climbing pretty steadily. So what does the future hold though? So a couple things. We know that interest rates, again, I teased it earlier, but we know that interest rates are going to increase in, or at least the Fed overnight rate is going to increase in November, and it's going to increase in December. As long as the increases are kind of what we expect, we're still going to see interest rates go up. So what does that mean for you when you're considering a reverse, whether it's for yourself or for your parents? First of all, when rates go up, that means, again, you qualify for less money. And again, when rates go down, can't wait, then you're going to qualify for more money. But what does it also, we haven't touched on this too much, but I'm going to briefly touch on this, then I'm going to let you go. What do increased interest rates do with home values? Well, if you think about it, home values are derived from folks who are going to purchase your house, right? So if a house is on the market at say 700 and it settles at 750, then homes in that area are going to bump up a little bit. But if it's on the market at 700 and it settles at 650, then home values of similar houses are going to drop a little bit. So that's what we're going to see. When we see increased interest rates, that means that people who are looking to buy houses, that means their buying power and their borrowing power drops a little bit. So they're going to be looking at slightly less expensive homes. This is going to snowball down to where, first of all, we're not going to see anything like 2008 and 2009 where home values were decimated. But we are, and you're probably, if you look in your neck of the woods, think about what's sold over the past 6 months and what's sold now. I bet you can see a little bit of a cooling off, and the cooling off is because of that inflation and is because of those interest rates. And you can tell, like if you've watched any of my recent videos, a lot of them have to do a lot with inflation because that's what we're going up against right now. So here's my thought, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I am an expert in this world. So I believe that we're going to continue to see interest rates increase over the next at least 6 months, maybe a year. I also think that as we're going to have a correlation, and there is causation as well, that we're going to see home values decrease in that same time. Both of those are going to basically every single week when I come to you, you're going to see that you're going to qualify for a little bit less with a reverse mortgage. This is unfortunate. This isn't fun. When you get less money, there's less I can do to help you. It's not great, but it's realistic. And I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear unless you want to hear what I'm going to tell you. I'm always going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. But I'll say it in a nice way. So that's what we're going to see over the next 6 months to probably a year. And then who knows what's going to happen. The election may change things a little bit in about a month or so. But my thought is this. If you're looking to do a reverse mortgage, especially if it's need-based, and if you're looking to do it over the next, say, year or so, I think now is, even though it's dropped quite a bit, now is as good as it's going to get. But if you're really looking at this as speculation and you've got a few years, hey, you can sit on the sidelines. I would still watch these videos to kind of get an idea of where you're at. You can always reach out to me, but you might be safe on the sidelines. The only disclaimer I'll give you, the only thing where that might not be true, is if you're looking at a reverse mortgage for a line of credit. If you are looking for a line of credit, you're going to want to lock in that line of credit as soon as possible. And as interesting, funny, I closed my friend Jim over in Tampa yesterday. And for Jim, we talked a lot about the line of credit and its power. And for Jim and for anybody else who gets a reverse mortgage line of credit, Eileen, who closed a few weeks ago, and so on and so forth, when interest rates go up, once your line of credit is locked in, your line of credit grows at a higher rate. It's really, really neat. And I've got, if you ever want to look into it, then I always share amortization tables with everyone who looks into it. So you can actually see how the numbers change as the years go by and as the interest rates increase. So anyway, that's a tangent. I wasn't going to talk too program specific. This is more of like what's going on in the rate world and how's that impacting my reverse. So if you want to get in touch, here's my contact info. You can get me at 888-309-9705. You can go to reversequotes.com and just input your information, or email me at jason@keyhomelending.com. I'd be more than happy to help you. Again, my name is Jason Eichmiller. I run this channel. I try to give you as much education so you know exactly what a reverse mortgage is and what it isn't. And I think you can tell by now, besides the cartoons, which just, they help me because this stuff's kind of dry. I don't want any fluff with this. I want you to know exactly what this is and what it isn't and what it can do for you and what it can't do for you. So, all right. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for hanging with me. If you want to see more of this stuff, go ahead and hit subscribe below. Check out the videos. And if there are any videos you want me to do, go ahead and comment that below, and I'll put it on the list. I've got a list of a few to do. So thanks again for your time. Have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of the week, and feel free to reach out if you need me. Take care of yourself.